All right, I set this up so you could get roughly an idea of what's going on. This is an aluminum bracket, intermediate bracket. This is the register fit to match up with this. You see this this diameter here, or whatever it is. This register fits what recesses into that, and it bolts via these bolts here, pulls down. That Lovejoy coupling has got another half. This is the size that has the 7/8 hole in it, and the other half has a 1/2 inch hole in it, and they're keyed appropriately. This was going to be on the motor originally, but due to some space constraints inside the motor well, which I'll show you in a minute, I had to take that off, which, you know, and I did want to keep it because I wanted to use it for an auxiliary rudder in case my rudder failed, but that's not going to happen now. It's just too bad, I guess. I'm going to have to get another emergency rudder deal. But, and there's a lot of flat bar involved in here, and I'll explain that in a second. But anyway, there'll be a bushing here, and one in the flat bar. The bushings will be in the metal just as they're laid out. And, okay. And that's for when this goes down, I'll be able to cam this over to the other side. You know, I'll be able to have this in here. They'll be made where they're spaced appropriately so that it'll cam over okay. And the reason for that being is so I don't have to modify the motor well hole. You know, I have a hole here in the bottom of the boat where the motor used to go through. And apparently in 1966, these motors were not much of anything. For, you know, it had a bracket there originally, but it tilted the wrong way. But you see what I got there. I'm going to get in there so I explain why I did what I did, and it may help you if you run into a situation similar. But I don't know what. But what was happening was when I tried to, I hooked the motor to this and let it hang down in there so I could play with it and see how it was going to swing and fit up in there. And what I found out happening was it would hit there and it wouldn't swing far enough that way. So I had to move it back some. And when I moved it back and I tried to swing it up, the motor would hit back there at the back of the hole. So what I did is I put that flat bar in there. So when I get ready to tilt the motor up into the well, I can cam it over like forward like that, which will bring the motor up as far as it can go, and then I can pull it back up in there and close the well door. And then when I let it down, it'll hit that, and it'll be pointing kind of down at an angle. Then I could cam it backwards, and the motor will be through the center of the well. So that was the whole issue. I got these connectors. I bought them from PowerWorks, and they have roll pins in here that allows you to gang these up. There's a slot that they lock into each other, and you can see it right there. They're kind of like a dovetail. Yeah, you get a little close, they're dovetail. They slide them in there, and then you put the roll pins in, and you can gang however many you need. And of course, that's the appropriate wire. And then I had to feed them through here because I wanted all my electronics in my compartment on the other side of that panel. There's an electrical, what I have for electrical compartment. All my electrics are in there, except for, you know, what you see right there, smoke detector, CO2 detector, because we have a wood stove in that other compartment over there. And there's nobody going to be in this boat but me, probably. When I go out, ain't nobody interested in going out in the middle of the ocean or bay. They think I'm crazy, but I'll enjoy it. I'll escape. But that's what I'm doing. I hope that helped you some. But and inside the electrical compartment is is it like a golf cart controller, but it's been marinized, and it has a CAN bus or something area network. I forgot what it is, but it's got where you can set all the parameters like maximum RPM, maximum amperage, low voltage cutoff, temperature alarm readouts, which you can put temperature gauges and reverse alarms. Now, as far as the throttle assembly, which I made a mistake in this, and I bought it and I had to buy another one because it all came from China and I couldn't get a refund. This was the controller, and it's you may have seen them. This has a potentiometer in it, but the problem was it just went back and forth. There was no mechanism to lock it in place. So I took the original faceplate and I CAD'd up this series of holes, which allows me to cam this into like neutral, and it can hold itself. And it's a ball detent I put in there. Now the problem with this particular controller was that it has a potentiometer in it, and I knew what salt water in that potentiometer was going to do in a short time. So I ordered up a different one. I think it's right here. And fortunately, they're made identical. And this was the original arm that's on this one. That's how it comes. But usually it's like on a car or something. And you see it has a spring in it on this particular one. So it was like a gas pedal, and it has a limit switch here. I can't remember what the purpose of the limit switch is, but I didn't need a limit switch. And this one works by resistance. Value between 0 and 3 is forward, and between 4 and 6 is reverse. So that resistance is read by the controller. This is a Hall sensor, which is a proximity of some kind of sensor to a magnet in there, is how that works. And it changes a value also. So what I'm going to do is take my handle and my spacer that I have in here. I had to make some spacers in there to accommodate this handle, and I'll put them and switch these faceplates out. And I can keep that for a reserve. I just wasn't going to have this potentiometer with the arm sweeping across some kind of resistor in there, getting all corroded up from salt water air. I know how long that would last. And this is all running on a 48 volt system. So, and of course that's like a golf cart controller, a golf cart charger basically. So that's my setup. Although I am really not feeling the lead acid batteries in my boat. I cut some vents for that gas to get out in case it off gas for some reason, that let it spread out into the compartment and not build up under the settee. And I come out one day and my alarm was going off out there. I'm like, what the hell? I opened up the boat, the companionway, and it must have been 125 degrees in there. I'm like, what the hell? Heat hit me in the face. And apparently either had a bad cell in the batteries because they were pretty old, or the charger failed. And that boat was full of gas. I said, that shit could have exploded. And I ain't feeling these lead acid batteries, so I'm going to switch to lithium ion or LiPo 4. The prices are coming down on them now, so it's just not that much more expensive than the AGMs I bought. But anyway, if that helps you out any, that's why I did this. This is the reverse lever still on here, which I don't need that. And this is going to wind up being, because of the width of the platform, that these angles fit on that side platform to allow me to tilt this motor down. And so what I've got to do right now that I still have remaining to do is I have to make a cover for that, which I already had that AutoCAD'd up. And I'll go from there.